Alright, I think I'm streaming now. I have been 5 minutes I've been sitting here trying to make this thing work, and I think I finally got it working. I don't know. It's like it wouldn't just wouldn't start going. But okay, well it's 5:30 in the morning and it's time. Good morning, Dad. Good morning, Mom. So it's time to get started going here. Sorry for the delay. I don't have any idea what happened. But 5 minutes I've been trying to get this thing going, and now it's working. Okay, so that's exciting. How is everybody this morning? It is 5:30 in the morning. That means it is time for us to draw and sketch and drink coffee. And today we've got a mermaid. We've got about 400 of these little toys and these canisters in the Random Object Randomogrifier. And today we're doing a mermaid. So make sure we're recording over there for the quiche, and we will turn the page and get started. Oh wow, it is Saturday morning. All the sane people use Saturday to sleep in a little bit before they go and have their adventures, but not us. Yeah, maybe it was YouTube. I don't know. Mom says she kept getting the circle. But, and then of course my allergies are killing me. So you guys get to hear the exciting world of snot, which is, you know, always something you want to tune in for. This isn't the same set as the princess. It's the same manufacturer as the princess that we did the other day. And we're kind of faced with the same problems in that you want to draw human proportions, but it's a toy. There's a lot of attention to detail here. I mean, every one of those scales, for instance, that I'm pretty sure we're not going to mess with. But it's Saturday. My wife and son are with Scouts today at a fundraiser. Garage sale fundraiser. Who knows what kind of stuff they're going to bring home. We're supposed to be getting rid of stuff. This is supposed to be our opportunity to get rid of all the functioning stuff that we have. Give it to the Scouts. The Scouts sell it. Strangers enjoy our stuff that we no longer want or need. But what almost always ends up happening is we always end up with stuff from somebody else. I kind of skipped the composition phase. I kind of skipped right into drawing details. I didn't mean to skip the composition phase. But the composition phase went really quick. It was just like tut, 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 making marks, and we're done. But I want to hold my head real still, because like with the queen the other day, the problem was I kept moving around trying to see, and I kept changing perspective. And in doing so, I feel like I messed up the placement of everything. Tell you what we'll do. I'll do a critique of all the drawings on tomorrow. I won't do it live, but I'll do a critique, because that's the only way you get better, is to actually stop. It's not just about doing it every day, it's about doing it and trying to improve. Let's see. My mom said last year they put a little stool in the sail. My son saw it and said they used to sit on that, and it's not my house. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I mean. That's exactly the kind of stuff that happens. Alright, I think I have everything in place. You ever wonder, I know this is an old joke, but you ever wonder what makes the difference between what animals mermaids choose to eat, which ones they choose to wear as bras, and how does one get to be a scallop mermaid bra? Because supposedly they talk to all the animals, right? So did they ask the scallops? Did the scallops volunteer for that? Things that make you go, Tell you what I do need to do though is I need to stop and clean up some of these lines, because if I don't, I'm going to end up shading something that doesn't exist, that shouldn't be there. But I want the lines to be just a little clearer. Make sure that I'm make sure that they're exactly where I want them to be before I start erasing them. So that said, and I wish it were just limited to furniture like that. Mom talking about that stool that she put in the garage sale a couple of years ago, and my kids ended up buying it, so now it's at my house. I wish that it was just stuff like that, but no, it's like camping gear. We have a lot of camping gear. All right. My nose never itches so much as when I'm on camera. I know I say that all the time, but it's the absolute truth. My nose never itches so much as when I'm on camera. just sounds like Ozzy Osbourne to me. Decisions will have to be made about how accurate I want to be on the scales. I could open my own camping gear outlet. My mom's given us ideas there. My problem with that is my beautiful young bride is a hoarder. She's not the only one. It would work out better if she were the only hoarder in the house, because then we could fight over it and I could throw stuff away while she wasn't looking. But there's two of us hoarding in this house, and we hoard different things. Why does that arm look so big? That arm shouldn't be that big. Let's take a really good long look at where that arm is and what it should be doing. It shouldn't be that big. This waist is doing what it should be doing. This seashell is doing what it should be doing. Arm should be coming off of that seashell at about that angle. Arm should be going to the hip at about that angle. Hand should be there. Other part of the hand should be there. It's not really arm shaped, so it should come out like that. It should come out like that, and that shoulder then should be like that. That's more like it. And then this other arm is probably a little too big also, because I'm trying to draw human proportions, and it's not human proportions. It's a toy in perspective. So yeah, I think that was a major improvement right there just on its own. And then what's going on with that hip? Should be just a little longer than that. Ah, that's much better. Yeah, that was messing with me. That's much better. All right, back to the shading. Yeah, in my next life I'm going to come back as a scallop. Under the sea. You know, I used that song. What did we draw the other day that I had to use that song, or that I used that song? And you know, I had to shorten the video to under a minute, or YouTube wouldn't let me upload it. Can't talk, Harding. What's going on there? Why is that like that? You can't see this, but there's a really wonky shape to that shadow, and I really want to move my head to see it, but I'm really trying to keep my perspective the same. No, that was a mistake. That shouldn't have been shaded. What's going on here? There, I think that's better. Alright, now the scales. Scales are going to be fun. Oh yeah, it was the turtle. Under the sea was the turtle. Under the sea. But apparently, Disney has limits as to what you can record. I'm going to do this kind of the same way I do the snail scales and the snail shells, in that the details are just going to be really dark where it's shaded. You know, I can't emphasize this enough. This is a morning sketch, and the point is to get your juices flowing, have some fun, and if you sit here and if you want to sit here and stress about details, I mean, power to you. You could count scales, you could break out calipers and measure them. You will be the only one doing that, because the people looking at your work are not. They are not doing that. They're looking at your work and they're going, wow, that must have taken a really long time. You're sitting there going, yep, drinking your coffee. And we have a time limit, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. If you go much longer than that, you'll find you don't have time to do it, and you'll find yourself talking yourself out of it. Something is not right with her. Something is not right here. I can't quite tell what it is. But it's like this should be longer. Also, this is a darker color than she is. When you squint though, the value is about the same, so you don't have to do much there. This plane of her face is in shadow, this side of her body is in shadow, her hand is not in shadow, but the whole thing is not white, except the scales. Some of the scales are very white. The tip of this thing is very white. The scallops are very white. But that's it. Everything else is not. I like that the scallops cast shadows. This is a set. This is a set from Safari Limited. I really like their attention to detail on stuff. That line shouldn't be so dramatic right there. But that line should be more dramatic. Alright, and then we have a shadow. Hang on, I started to do the shadow, the drop shadow, and realized that I just wasn't there yet. There we go. Alright. Now let's do that drop shadow. The shadow is bumpy, especially around the scallops. Okay, and then what's darker? If you squint, what's darker? Is it the body or the shadow? And like right here, the body's darker. The value of the body is darker than the shadow, except where the shadow touches the body. But everything else is kind of up in the air, so you've got bouncing light around it. So the shadow should be, the shadow on the fish should be darker, but the shadow of the fish is not. So I was reading a little bit about mermaids last night. And it's funny how they are in every culture. Every culture has some story of the sea sirens. But they're not, in some cultures they're benevolent and they fall in love with the sailors. In some cultures they're benevolent and fall in love with the sailors, but their love kills the sailors because sailors can't breathe underwater. In some cultures, they help the sailors that have fallen into the water to safety. Christopher Columbus described mermaids on his voyage to the Americas. Every culture has them. But what really got me was the name Mermaid. Because the first part about it, the mer part in mermaid, is from the Old English for the word sea, which is very similar to the Latin mar. And I thought it was interesting that this is the rabbit hole that I went down. I was reading about mermaids, and the rabbit hole that I went down was all about the word mar and mer and how it's used throughout the world, and its relationships to each other, and even the Middle East. The word is similar. But every culture, Vietnamese, Chinese, Japanese, Taiwan, Africans, Native Americans, every culture has a mermaid reference, has a mermaid tale. And it just makes you wonder. And it's not just mermaids, it's merfolk. In almost all the mythology, there are males also, but they just don't get as much play because, throughout history, sailing was generally a male sport. So there's not nearly as many female sailors being rescued by merfolk. All right. can we do about this? Why is this not accurate? Why is this not playing like it should in my head? One thing, that neck is way too wide. Alright. It's an eraser. Remember, you gotta have reflected light. If you don't have reflected light, it won't read as round. Alright. I think I need a magnifying glass to get any more detailed than that. I don't think our little nylon eraser is as adept at picking out little tiny dots of light. As our kneaded eraser. Our, like it's the royal we. How we are not amused. Alright, I need this to be way darker than that shadow, so that that shadow reads as a shadow. And I have some stray lines in that shadow. We're about to call this one. I think, like I said, I think to get any more detail on this, I think I would have to break out that magnifying glass. I'm calling it. Yeah, I'm calling it. As he goes back and makes more marks. What is today? 26th? Still April. No Claudia on Saturdays because she comes to see us on her lunch break. It's only 1 o'clock in the afternoon in the Netherlands, and so she's probably not at work. Tell you what we need to do. That'll put it more like the perspective that I see. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, there's the perspective that I saw. Where's my mouse? So there we go. Today's sketch. See, that hip should have been. That hip could have been higher. Like I said, I think we'll do a critique. I'll do a critique. I'll get me a cup of coffee and do a critique at the end of the week, which I guess is today, because today marks 7 more days that we've done this. I think we've done this three weeks in a row. So that's pretty good. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. I know it's hard to get up at 5:30 in the morning on a Saturday. I know some of you are already up at 5:30 in the morning on a Saturday. If you're enjoying the show, click the share button and let other people know that you're enjoying the show. Maybe we can get us a crowd. But that said, thank you so much, and I will see all of you tomorrow at 5:30 in the morning. Peace out. Love you. I don't think I have to dance. Usually I dance, but I don't think there's a lag. I think YouTube catches up.